The following is a presentation of The Day.
Welcome to Live Lunch Break. My name is Rick Coster. We're streaming from theday.com. We're also live in the Telegraph Record Shop here in New London. This is as close as we get to a special holiday edition of Live Lunch Break. We won't be doing any carols, no sing-alongs, but with Anna and Vince Thompson, and before Peter turned the camera on, we each ate 5 candy canes and drank 2 quarts of wassail, which is a sort of a mellifluous way of saying Merry Christmas to everybody, Happy Holidays. It is my this is a very cool story because we've known Vince Thompson for a long time in a musical context. Does some of the greatest shows in the area on a regular basis with a loose collective under the title of Vince Thompson and Friends, and we've been privileged to have that going on. His daughter Anna is with us today. She started off writing poetry, fiction, that sort of thing. The muse flows in the DNA, but at a later age, relatively speaking, because Anna's very young, she has turned to music, and unlike my dad and me, who were on diametric opposite musical style things, you guys resonate and play the same sort of music, so we're very privileged today to have Anna and Vince Thompson on Live Lunch Break.
Thank you. Let your life be a fantasy. Weave through the trail of tears and the redwood trees. Let it whisper through your mind. You will change if you give it time. Rattle me down some railroad line. Let the rails keep pushing until the end of time. Give me freedom or give me death. 3,000 miles and we're not there yet. America, carry me over your valleys and your tragedies. Show me your whole desert. Show me the land of the free. Make a brand new dawn for my eyes to see. See the old West in the fading light. Let it drop on down until it's out of sight. It leaves an imprint deep and wide, like ghostly shadows in the Utah night. I've lost pieces along the way. I followed the path and I tried to stray. Soon we'll see the break of day, but I fled too fast when I should have stayed. America, carry me over your valleys and your tragedies. Show me your whole desert. Show me the land of the free. Make a brand new dawn for my eyes see. Just know the journey never ends. The finish line is just pretend. It's bittersweet, severed in two. It's a little bit me and a little bit you. America, carry me over your valleys and your tragedies. Show me your holy desert. Show me the land of the free. America, carry me over your valleys and your tragedies. Show me your holy desert. Show me the land of the free. Make a brand new dawn for my eyes to see.
Thank you. Thanks. That's called California Zephyr. I wrote that on a train trip a couple years ago, and I sat in the observation car and kind of looked out the window and wrote those lyrics. So the next one, this is called Warning Signs. This is cool to play in a record store. I'm just like surrounded by music. This is awesome.
She's like mercury and diamonds, brass and gold, hot and cold, sinister to the eyes of all. She'll be the one who gets away. No one's sanity she'll save. Life is a game we play, 'cause she's velvet and gold, and all the things a man can hold. She will fall into your eyes, emeralds and crystals in her eyes, demons you won't recognize. But oh, her silver tongue and lonely heart, raveled in the night, jealous loves, pointless fights, saddle up, hold on tight. It's a wild and crazy world for troubled boys and little girls. Ooh, they say it's a wild world, 'cause she's velvet and gold, and all the things a man can hold. She will fall into your eyes, emeralds and crystals in her eyes, demons you won't recognize. Oh, her silver tongue and lonely heart, she'll wrap her arms around, sink her teeth and bite on down. taught you wrong from right. So revel on and lust delight, 'cause she's velvet and gold, and all the things a man can hold. She will fall into your arms. Emeralds and crystals in her eyes, demons you won't recognize. But oh, her silver tongue and lonely heart, and oh, the way she always falls apart. Thanks.
Long time no see. All right.
Here's another kind of sad one. This is called I'm Still Waiting for You.
She's still waiting for me.
I am still waiting. Always waiting.
I put new strings on just for this, so you know you gotta.
You take my hand, you spin me around. You let me go when the rain falls down. It's hard to see those stars align. Each time I try, it's a cloudy night. I'm still waiting for you. This sea of mysteries and the blues, there's a message I've been meaning to send. But there you go, driving away again. Permanent ink, it won't erase. Between steps I see your face down corridors and alleyways, foggy nights and ballroom days. I'm still waiting for you in this sea of mysteries and the blues. There's a message I'm meaning to send. But there you go, driving away again. Maybe I'm dreaming, maybe I'm blind, painting bright colors inside rigid lines. You're never there when I want you around. The sweet regret when the sun goes down. I'm still waiting for you in this sea of mysteries and blues. There's a message I'm meaning to send. There you go, driving away again.
Thank you. So we'll do one that's a little bit more up-tempo. This one's called You Were Alone.
You were alone when I met you, but it seems you're happy now. Through the tears and the miles, it's finally fallen down. I still love it when you smile, it still breaks my heart. I know it's all over, but I can't seem to start again. You've been haunting me atop mountains, over canyons, and the spaces in between. I guess fools just dream. I guess they just make believe. It's so different now, through the rain and through the clouds. I'm hiding in the margins, I'm still wondering how. I ain't pleading anymore, we've settled out the score. I've been fighting myself in a long and a lonely war. You've been haunting me atop mountains, over canyons, and the spaces in between. I guess fools just dream. I guess they just make believe. There was no you and me, just dancers and their dreams. Laughter and silence and bitter entreaties. You're still on my mind, still beating in my heart. I used to take it as a sign, but now it only means goodbye. You've been haunting me atop mountains, over canyons, and the spaces in between. I guess fools just dream. I guess they just make believe. You were alone when I met you, but it seems you're happy now. I've been spinning all around, but I've landed on the ground. You were alone when I met you, alone when I met you alone. You were alone when I met you, alone when I met you alone.
You were alone when I met you
But it
alone, when
seems
I
you're
met you
happy
alone. You were alone when I met you
Through the
alone,
rain
when I
and
met
through
you
the
alone.
clouds. You were alone when I met you alone,
when I met you alone.
You were alone when I met you alone. Thanks.
Very nice indeed. This is
you.
Anna Thompson and her proud father, Vince Thompson, over here. Thanks for joining us at Live Lunch Break. My name is Rick Coster. We're streaming from theday.com, or you might be here in the New London, the very fine New London Telegraph Record Shop, which is where we do this all winter long. Anna, you came relatively late to songwriting. Why? Why did that happen?
I don't know. Yeah, I used to sing a lot when I was younger, and I've always loved writing. It's always been like a big part of my life, but I think when I was 19, I started singing out, which was about 2 years ago, maybe a year and a half, and it was kind of a way to like fuse two things that I love, writing and music, together. And I realized, yeah, this is kind of what I like. So it did take a while, and also I'm like super nervous and stage fright, so that's kind of another big like portion of it that, it took me so long to do that. But yeah,
You seem very calm right now. What's in that water bottle?
I don't know.
I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding. So you started out as a younger creative person, writing fiction, that sort of thing. Compare and contrast, as we say, the two different types of expression. Is it similar?
I think they're really different. Like fiction, I wrote a novel, like a first draft of a novel when I was 18, and I feel like you can kind of say more with songwriting. You can be concise, and your meaning is just there. And I kind of like that. It's very quick and very almost you can sum a lot up, and I like that form better, which I've realized.
Right.
Yeah.
Correct me if I'm wrong, but you have sort of an unrestrained, a free approach to songwriting, because you don't sit down, or do you, with a guitar or a piano? It seems like you just have a penchant for melody, and then is that how it works, the lyrics?
Thank you. Yeah, I usually write the lyrics first, and I'll sometimes have an idea for a melody, and usually it's kind of existing in my head. And I'll kind of sit down with my dad, and he'll say, "Oh, this is where you're going here with the guitar. That's an A minor." And occasionally I'll plunk it out on the piano a little bit, but it's very different, because it's not the lyrics and music together. It's always the lyrics first.
Interesting.
So, yeah.
And I just sort of said this, but you have a lovely penchant for melody, and there are a lot of people that would try really hard, and it just doesn't come that naturally. You just don't sit down and say, "I'm going to write hooks." Is there someone melodic in your past, a Paul McCartney or a Linda Ronstadt, or someone that sort of ingrained in you the idea that hooks, good?
Yeah. Probably my favorite people are like Joan Baez, Emmylou Harris, and of course Bob Dylan. But I also listen to a lot of like Beatles, and Grant Lee Phillips is one of my favorite people who really
Tremendous
has
writer.
and also melody-wise. And so I think, it comes from a lot of places. I also like a lot of jazz, and I try to fuse it all together, but very eclectic.
I like the idea of the parent-child dynamic that you guys have going on, and it interests me because you are, again, not to belabor this, relatively young, at an age when many children would say, "Man, I really hate the music my parents listen to." Did you guys always like the same sort of music, or did you come around the bend of rebellion, so to speak, and go, "Hey, what the old man was listening to isn't that bad after all"?
Yeah, no, definitely. We always grew up with a lot of like Americana. We listened to the Cox Family and Kim Ritchie, and that was like constantly playing. But I went through like a phase where I was into maybe more rap, and I kind of not too much like The Cure, and a little bit of a punk phase. But I've always really liked the Americana, and it's so cool around here because there's just a great scene and so many people who are into that. And my friend Sarah and I will go out and we joke around a lot, like we're the youngest people here, but it's awesome. Like we love this type of music, so
Right.
Yeah, it's definitely always been part of me. Yeah.
You're mature beyond your years, young lady. We're talking with Anna and Vince Thompson. Now, you guys, I'm going to go one more with the creative thing, and then I want to talk about a tour you're getting ready to go on. Have you run into this problem because you're not collaborating with someone else your age in the band that's going through similar experience or whatever? So, like in my case, my dad might have said, "Son, what's this verse you wrote about, sniffing glue and robbing a 7-Eleven or whatever?" You ever have a hard time going, "Dad, here's the song I wrote. Is there anything, Dad? You can chime in here."
She writes really good lyrics, and a lot of times young people, it's awkward, and there's just none of that, so I just sort of strum the guitar. She might say, like, "This got a travel feel," and so, I don't have a big bag of tricks, but we just start fooling around, and now the lyrics are always great, and then...
And I was just sort of joking about a lot of that, but it is interesting that if you had bad acid experience. No, I'm just kidding. So Vince, of course, is a math professor, and I promise not to make any Copernicus jokes, and I will not. But that means you've got
I'm
some
off duty till January 20th.
Exactly. So what are you going to do with that time, the two of you?
As instructed, hop in the car and sleep on our friends' couches down south.
So you guys are going to hit the road. Where are you going to play?
Yeah, we are. We have a couple places in Philadelphia and New Orleans, which I'm very excited about. We're playing at the Neutral Ground Coffee House and a couple places through Johnson City, Berea, Kentucky. So it's kind of cool because I'm going to see a lot of friends and maybe play a little along the way, and hopefully people show up. So
I think that is wonderful. It's going to be really cool. Good experience. One last question. We'll let you get back to the music. And again, thanks to Anna and Vince Thompson for being here. You guys also pull in a nice holiday crowd at the record store. Sometimes it's just me and Peter and Rich, but thank you guys for coming out. Any plans to record this music?
Yeah, definitely. We've been talking about that for a while. Nothing like solid yet, but it's definitely probably going to happen maybe, hopefully when we get back at the end of January. So yeah, I would love to. I'm excited about that.
We'll look forward to it. This is Anna and Vince Thompson at Live Lunch Break. I'm Rick Coster, and will you guys do us the favor of playing some more?
Yeah.
Excellent.
You'd think with all that chatting time I would be.
So the song's called April and Johnny. It's another sad, slow song. I like a lot of those. And partly the reason I don't do it on the piano is I tried it a couple of times because I do play piano, and it just sounded like a little bit too depressing. So I kind of like the guitar sound with it, so we ended up doing that. But this is kind of based on a couple experiences I had, and then also a little bit of a fantasy element. Hope you guys enjoy. April met Johnny in the month of May. From the beginning, he didn't have much to say, but he fixed old cars and her money was low. She was looking for gold, busy searching for her soul. June and July brought love around. They hid out in Camaros all around this town. How sweet love seems, the words are put to song, but the joys of the heart never last too long. August was a heartbreak, Johnny in tears. She burned so bright, like no girl in all his 20 years. Troubles in a suitcase at Johnny's door. He was getting tired. Could he really give her any more? The girl said April ain't as nice as she seems. The boys had no choice. Just watch those hazel eyes gleam. How sweet love seems,
joys of the heart never last too long. Johnny drinking beer at the auto show. He gets the shovels out just in time for snow. He was struck so hard he was looking at the stars. Now it's late nights on the clock and dinner in the all-night bars. April had a past John, a Christian family. They wondered at the wedding, how did this marriage come to be? How sweet love seems when words are put to song. But the joys of the heart never lasts too long. There were girls who loved him, though Johnny won't know. The world goes round, the seasons come and they go. It's been 20 years and life's been good. Once the engine's running, you don't look beneath that rusted hood.
Thanks. I think we have a longer version of that. Because I had a lot of verses and I couldn't decide, and I think it was like 8 or 9 minutes, and we had Andy, my dad's guitar player, like played a couple of breaks, and it was like we were at Chamard Vineyards and it was going on and on. It was like 11 minutes. I'm like, oh my goodness, like I'm gonna hit like 15 minutes with this one, but so we shortened it. This one's called Where I Belong. I remember when I first brought the lyrics to my dad, I was like, maybe we could try like a reggae type feel with this one, and he was like, what? So this is like our reggae attempt.
That's not in my bag of tricks.
One of these days.
How did this happen? Oh, where did I go wrong? It's a long time I've been walking, tattered flags and angry songs. Like oysters inside a shell, they're the secrets you won't tell. You keep on escaping me down the bottom of that well. Flashing like a dream were those pictures on the screen, but I knew you well before she came along. Now I'm back where I belong. Please tell me one thing true. Was there more I could do? And then you had the nerve to say that I'm not good enough for you. I hope that you're happy now to pay your bills and push the plow. Sometimes I can keep it in, right now I wanna scream out loud. Flashing like a dream were those pictures on the screen, but I knew you well before she came along. Now I'm back where I belong. Once your face seemed so sweet, like an angel in the sea so deep. I thought I could pull you up, but somehow you got stuck down there, with cheap gel running through your hair and bad luck, casual swears running through the streets tonight, tossing out these surface, flashing like a dream. Were those pictures on the screen? But I knew you well before she came along. Now I'm back where I belong. It's like a dream, a funeral pyre, the little flames of old desire, singing in the lonely dawn. They make a noise, then they're gone. Flashing like a dream were those pictures on the screen. But I knew you well before she came along. Now I'm back where I belong.
Thanks. So not reggae. We're going to do a really new one. We actually just finished this yesterday, I think, so we have not performed it out, but hopefully we have it. This is called The Escaping Muse, and it's a little bit about, I don't know, trying to find inspiration, and a little bit about, like, recently I've, like, found myself, I think we all do, like, climbing the social ladder, and I was kind of thinking about that a lot, so there's a lot of different stuff in this song.
I met a frenzied seamstress in a lonely river town. She sewed stray strands together. She lived underground. She learned beauty isn't seamless. Perfection comes and goes. In and out of living rooms, all the folks the wise souls know. Hidden my intelligence to satisfy the rest. The poets and philosophers didn't bother to protest, falling into orbit cracked open doors, trying to piece together clues scattered on these wooden floors, looking for that escaping muse. To say I ran with charming men and the beauties of the ball, we penetrate the stratosphere and then somehow we fall. Wish I could sit comfortably in the wise man's lair, down in deep dark canyons where you can't come up for air. I've hidden my intelligence to satisfy the rest. The poets and philosophers didn't bother to protest, falling into orbit through cracked open doors, trying to piece together clues scattered on these wooden floors, looking for that escaping muse. I've been climbing high and running out of rungs, dancing in dark flames, eyes fixed through the barrel of a gun. Took me all my life to reach the center of the stage. Champagne and caviar, and still this blank page. Hidden my intelligence to satisfy the rest. The poets and philosophers didn't bother to protest. Falling into orbit through cracked open doors, trying to piece together clues scattered on these wooden floors, looking for that escaping muse. I know I saw you somewhere in the wrinkles of my mind. If only we could sail the world, but we haven't any time. Thanks.
Okay.
So I guess we'll end with a song that's called "This Is the End," so that's kind of fitting. I wrote this over the summer, and I don't know, I feel like it's definitely a little bit of a downer, but it has kind of a hopeful side to it. It's just about kind of being done with something and moving on, and hope you guys like it.
Tell them more about the song.
Have to learn to elaborate.
With me around you.
I'm really good at summarizing and being concise. I have to like.
I'm not even done yet. See, the capo is an evil thing, but it does. It might be. Yeah, but there's a whole. I should explain. All those other songs were down a half step, so hang with me a minute.
Yeah, we do. A lot of the songs I sing are down, so we tune down. And a couple of times we've had people play with us, and it's just like impossible, you know, because it's like. But we do have a few that are like up a little bit higher, and this is one of the rare ones that I don't sing down half a step.
Now, if your father was an all-around guitar player, it wouldn't matter.
Said they'd tear me up beat me alive, but I couldn't see the hatred burning in their eyes. I guess I should have known everything that flies is bound to sink like a stone. Time to walk this path alone. So this is the end. I swore I wouldn't come back again. Too many tricks there up your sleeve. Perhaps it's time for me to leave. No flowers, no white flag I could send. This is the end. It's hard to read it clear with feelings in your heart. When you fall behind, you think you've made a brand new start. Well, I've got diamonds in the back of my brain. They don't shine too brightly when I pull in the reins. So this is the end. I swore I wouldn't come back again. Too many tricks there up your sleeve. Perhaps it's time for me to leave. No flowers, no white flag I could send. This is the end. 12 feet under and I'm falling fast. Lost in temporary toils, but I am built to last. Resilience, the false claim broken hearts make. It's easier to beg for mercy than to admit a mistake. So this is the end. I swore I wouldn't come back again. Too many tricks there up your sleeve. Perhaps it's time for me to leave. No flowers, no white flag I could send. This is the end. You're ruby in the rough and I mistook you for gold. You're buying her heart when yours has already been sold. So this is the end. I swore I wouldn't come back again. Too many tricks there up your sleeve. Perhaps it's time for me to leave. No flowers, no white flag I could send. This is the end.
Thank you so much. That's the lovely voice and haunting songcraft of Anna Thompson with Vince Thompson. Thank you guys so much for being here. Thank you all for being here. This is Live Lunch Break. We go out at theday.com. All of these episodes are archived at theday.com. Thanks so much to Rich Martin and the Telegraph for hosting us as always. We're going to be off Christmas Day. There will be no show on New Year's Day. We'll be back January 8th with Mr. Roper, and I know it sounds like the guy that taught your 8th grade physical science class, but that's not true. It's a folk rock band from upstate New York, so we'll look forward to seeing them. Thanks also to Pete Wappy for getting it right in the house, and you guys have a wonderful holiday season. We'll see you in January.